right, everyone. Hey, welcome back to our 5th episode of Lone Star Hammered. Today I have Cory Russell with me and the winner of the most recent major in Texas, Kit Smith. So let's rock into everything. Welcome back, guys. So first thing, we are always going to be drinking on Lone Star Hammered, and myself and Cory, we have, since people said I wasn't drinking some of the stuff, we have a bottle of Eagle Rare that we have been dipping into. And it's pretty tasty. Do you like it?
I do like it.
I do like it.
Nice little warm.
Yeah.
In the belly.
It's nice, and it's a nice little belly rub. And then Kit, I think you have what you've got.
Yeah, honestly, for me, I'm just drinking water because hydration is important.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yes, it is.
All right, some other housekeeping stuff really quick. Hey, guys, I'm going to keep mentioning it again until we get to this event, War Dome Houston. Buy your tickets. There's going to be a link that's happening literally right now as I'm talking. Go to their website to buy your tickets for War Dome Houston. If you do buy it, please enter the promo code HAMMERED so that I get the ability to choose a school that we will be donating a whole Warhammer setup to. And we also have contributions from the Clutch City that just happened. And Alamo is also going to be donating terrain to that school as well. So buy your tickets for War Dome. It's going to be an amazing event. Kit, are you going?
Potentially. I'm moving soon, so it's a tricky one.
Move over to Houston and go to War Dome.
Seems unlikely.
Honestly, if you don't go, I'm like,
you got a chance. I
got a better chance at getting best overall because they have golden tickets for this event. So it's a golden ticket event that's only sold 35 tickets so far. So I'm all about it. So we need to go. All right. And then on top of that, we hit 100 subscribers, and that was my last go-to for our giveaway. So we are going to give away demons since they are the ones that came second to Kit. So this will be the giveaway. We're going to switch it up this time. If you would like to be entered in the giveaway, please put your favorite army and your favorite event that you've ever been to in Texas in the comments. I'll mention this again when we get close to the end, and that'll be for a brand new Slaves of Darkness Demon Prince. So it's for Chaos. Ooh, man, the light does not work well with that. Bam. It's our Chaos Demon Prince. All right.
Demons are cool as hell.
Dude, they are.
They're like one of my main armies, and I love them.
That kit's so fucking cool looking. But yeah, Kit, so let's get into you, man. So when did you actually start playing Warhammer?
At this point, it would be about almost 4 years ago. At this point, I started playing basically mid 2020 in the summer.
Okay.
And with a friend of mine, just ironically, when I started out, I was playing on TTS exclusively.
And that
did not start
years
in
ago?
person. Yeah, 4 years ago.
Wow.
Right during COVID.
Damn. That was like a perfect storm, kind of. Like, that was a good time to start TTS.
Basically. Well, basically, it was me and my friend were looking for something to do over the summer, because it was like, okay, last year of high school, we need to find something to do.
Yeah.
And can't go in person to meet each other. That's not allowed. So have to find an online thing. Looked at this thing. Hey, Warhammer. This seems cool. Play it on TTS. And we got into it.
Okay. I love it, man. A lot of people actually start on TTS now. It's one of the like kind of gateway drugs into Warhammer 40K before you commit to all the models and the thousands of dollars to traveling around. I remember the first event that you went to, man. You got like second place. Like
no, first place.
Was it first place?
It was Clutch City 2 years ago.
Put some respect.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought. My bad.
It was quite funny.
I don't even think I went to Clutch 2 years ago. Yeah, good job then for going kind of almost. Because I think Rose beat you out last year or something like that, or there was some other.
I played Rose in the finals, and he beat me out.
Yeah, well, good job, man. You're kind of that reigning champ of Clutch, I guess. So what armies do you have right now?
So right now, I own a bunch of like small collections of different armies.
Okay.
But the main ones that I own like in large amounts is Knights, Chaos Demons, Space Marines, Dark Angels specifically, and Tyranids.
Hell yeah.
Tyranids are by far my largest collection.
Okay. Is that just like model count wise or points as well?
Both.
Okay.
I think I have like, oh man, at this point it's almost probably 12,000, 14,000 points of Tyranids.
Holy shit.
So coming.
It's a kind of absurd amount.
God damn. So then what's your favorite army to play?
So, favorite army to play, honestly, for me, I have more of I have a favorite play style to play more so than a favorite army to play.
Okay.
And that's usually I really like monster / vehicle heavy lists. They're just really fun to me. Yeah. And in particular, lists that are high damage, relatively high mobility monsters and vehicles.
Yeah.
So you can see a pattern between hey, I've got Ironstorm Dark Angels, I've got Tyranids with a lot of monsters, and I've got, would you believe it, Chaos Demons and Imperial Knights.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're all Monster Mash lists, and they're all kind of playable right now.
Yeah. None of them are bad, honestly. Tyranids Monster Mash is even that's probably the worst one, and it's still totally fine. Yeah. I'm just not playing them right now as much as I love my bugs, because their damage is just not where it is right now.
No, I don't even think their survivability is there either.
It's really not. They're fine in survivability. They're points efficient in survivability, but that's about all they've got running for them.
I'd agree with that. All right, and Corey, what about you, man?
Okay.
How long have you been playing?
Well, I was one of the kids who I wanted to play in middle school, but I had middle school money, and you can't play this hobby with middle school money. So I dropped out of it for 10 years at least. And then right before COVID, just right before it, I bought the Dawn of War game again. I was like, this sounds cool. I'll play a computer game. What would it take for me to get into the tabletop hobby? So I met Aaron, who you had on 1 or 2 episodes ago, Aaron Kelman. He got me into it, and then COVID happened, and so I had a ton of time to build and paint and no time to play. So that's kind of how it started, and I guess it's been about 4 years now that I've been actively playing.
It's kind of crazy to me. COVID destroyed a lot of things, and this hobby, the resurgence of it from COVID, was actually kind of fucking crazy. No, it 100% boomed. GW went up insane after COVID. It was really interesting to watch because I was overseas for COVID, and I started doing TTS just because I was fucking bored in a hotel room. And it when I got back, I was like, holy shit, there's so many more players now. Especially and I came back, and then I transferred relatively shortly over to Texas, and I was like, holy fuck, Texas is kind of where it's at.
Well, it's if most players are like me and you and Kid, I played a couple games, and I was like, this is awesome. How can I play more? And instead of losing that during the COVID time, it just built. I was like, I want to play for 9 months or whatever it was before I could start playing in person.
Isolation and a drug addiction is terrible.
That is what it is.
All right, cool. So what armies do you have right now?
So right now I have Space Marines, which I'm currently running as Death Watch. I have a Leagues of Votann army. I have a Chaos Space Marines army. I have a Genestealer Cult army. Is that it?
I don't know what the fuck you have.
I
know some of those. I don't know all of them.
I think I have those. I have also had Tau, and I dabbled a little bit into demons, but I don't know.
Ooh, a demon dabbler.
Yeah, demon dabbler.
Okay.
And you know what? I also had a Death Guard army.
You did have Death Guard.
I've had a couple of armies that I've never sold an army, but I have traded them for new armies, and that's kind of how I keep the interest.
Okay. So what's your favorite army?
That is a tough one. I'm really enjoying playing Votann right now, but I think my favorite, if I had to pick one, is Death Watch. Space Marines was my first army, like it was for a lot of people. I got in with the Dark Imperium, I think, so Space Marines versus Death Guard.
Yeah.
I ran them as Green Marines for a while, just as kind of vanilla whatever. And then I decided that wasn't cool enough, so I sprayed them all black and started over. And I put the work of an army into it twice, and so it has to be my favorite.
Hell yeah. I like it. I mean, it's a fun army, and a lot of people may not realize this, but Corey's actually one of the best Death Watch players in the world because there's only 3 of them.
That is.
He's got a lot of events that he's number 1 in, and it's amazing, and I love seeing it.
I think as of the last check, in the TCC, the Texas meta, which is the only meta that matters, I am currently the number 1 and only Death Watch player with a ranked score.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, cool. Well, now that we got that baseline, let's rip into what we're kind of going to do this week. So we are going to go over everything pretty much from Clutch, from these two top players, and a little bit of the experiences, as well as the top 3 lists. We're going to kind of deep dive into them. So let's start with Kit. Since you're number 1, man, you're first up, dude. So I'm gonna go ahead and read through your list. So we have a Space Marines Dark Angel Strike Force, using that Iron Storm Spearhead, so getting that extra durability and absolutely fucking devastating output by having a lot of that, like, not sustained hits, but critical. The hell is the word I'm thinking?
So, well,
it's not the sustained hits. It's the
sustained hits and critical hits on 5s. That's
that's what
trick
it is.
for Mercy's weakness. Also, just honestly, the reroll a hit, wound, or damage really is just useful. It helps out with the consistency a ton.
So with that, we've got Azrael. We have a Ravenwing Talon Master, which won't exist anymore. We have a Tech Marine with your Augur web thing, and that's what's going to give you the...
lethal hits.
Lethal hits. That's the word I was looking for. I'm dumb. Words mean things. I was buying paint earlier today, and I was trying to explain to the guy like what paint I needed, just the color, and I couldn't think of the word green. And I was there for like 5 minutes.
It happens, man, honestly.
It's been a rough week. And then we have another Tech Marine with the Adept of the Omniscia. What does that one do for him?
That one turns when a vehicle within 6 inches fails a save once per round, turn the damage to 0.
That can be
which
really
is
really
good.
Yeah, the fails the save part is really important because most places are when it's allocated, so you don't get a chance to save. But with something like Redemptor, spoilers, that has a 2-up save potentially in cover, you get a reasonable chance to save even against melt or railguns, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the one downside is you don't get to use it against devastating wounds.
Yeah.
Or against like Thousand Suns when they use Twisted Fate to strip your armor save away.
You don't get to take a save, so you can't fail it.
Yep. That makes sense.
It's big brain stuff.
And then we have a Company Heroes. That's kind of one of those things you see a lot in a lot of Space Marines right now. It's for those 95 points. They're so fucking good.
You just chuck them with Azrael, and the unit is just a pain in the ass to kill.
Yeah, it really is.
And gets to run onto a point and say, "Hey, this is mine. Come deal with it."
Yep. We have a Dark Shroud. More defensive stuff going on there. Gives them basically your whole army doesn't have to spend a CP on Smokescreen because you get stealth and cover, which is really nice.
It's so good.
We have a Redemptor with the Plasma Incinerator and Onslaught Gatling, and then the Fragstorm Grenade Launchers, and then we have 2 more of those. That's 3 total Redemptor Dreadnoughts. We have a Scout Squad for the Uppy Downy. We have a Storm Speeder Thunderstrike, and that's going to be the one with the last Talon. And that also gives whatever it targets get next. Is it extra AP against it?
No, it's +1 to wound against monsters and vehicles.
Yep.
Didn't come up much in my run, but there are some matchups where you just absolutely need that ability. It's absolutely critical.
I'll throw out real quick. We played at Rise, which was a few months ago, when I was running Deathwatch with 2 repulsors.
Oh yeah.
This turn it's gone, and this turn it's gone.
Yep, I can only imagine.
And then that happened.
Yeah, and then 2 Storm Ravens, and those are to carry around those fucking wonderful Redemptors and give them that extra movement that they desperately need. And then a squad of Inquisitorial Henchmen. Man, that, and we talked about it even before the episode before Clutch. You were one of those big hitters that I was like, I'm going to review this list because it is so much fucking firepower, so much durability. And if you don't know how it reads, it actually has a metric fuck ton of mobility too.
Yes.
So let's go through your matchups, man. So round 1, we play David Villarreal.
Yep,
Talk to me
David.
about that game, man.
Versus David. Okay, that one. Let's see.
He was running AdMech.
He was
Chicken
running the
Walkers
AdMech. Oh, yep. I remember that one. No. So David's an interesting one because David is also a person who runs Storm Ravens, and I talked with him before the game, and he was like, "Yeah, so I decided to run my AdMech because I haven't gotten my second Storm Raven painted up yet." And honestly, fair enough.
That makes sense.
That game was an interesting one. It kind of was a non-game because I went first. So fun fact, the scouts, how you were talking about the scouts there, I don't think I used their uppy downy ability a single time in the tournament.
So did you use them more as a screen against David?
Yes.
Yeah.
So against David, what I was able to do is he had his chicken walkers. He has his, I think he had 18 of them total. 3 units of 3 dragoons, 3 units of 2 ballistari, and 3 solo of the radium Jedi dragoons.
Yep.
And the taser lance dragoons are his fast, mobile, relatively hard hitting units.
Yeah.
So they're probably the top priority. And the scouts, what their entire job was is I found one of the lanes where he had positioned his chicken walkers, because he kind of put them on the line. You have to some degree. And that meant they were spread out between the 3 main lanes that you could move through on the terrain map.
Just very hard to deploy hidden.
Yeah.
Because
you just can't, honestly. There's too much surface area that it takes up. And especially, you just can't hide against the Stormraven army in particular.
Right.
Its mobility is just way too high. So he just deployed on the line and said, all right, I'm going to rely on my durability. You cannot kill 9 Dragoons in a turn. And I can't, honestly.
Yeah.
So all I did is just go for the scouts. They pushed up, move blocked 1 squad of 3 chicken walkers. I oath another squad, bring all of my units to a position where the squad on his left flank can't charge them because they're getting move blocked by scouts. The squad on the right flank is way too far away, and the middle squad is my oath's target, so I can just see all of them.
Nice.
Wipe out that unit, put like a bit of long range shooting into other stuff, and just establish myself on that objective.
Yeah, and then that gives you're taking a lot of board control away from him too.
Exactly, and the big thing there is at that point he's no longer able to use his units to respond to me effectively in any practical way.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about playing again. Like, I would be so frustrated.
Yeah.
to run into that.
Yep.
And the thing with that army too is that because Kit's army has so much built-in -1 damage.
Yeah.
All this chicken walker damage, which actually a lot of it doesn't even come from the las cannons. It comes from the
the dragoons chasers.
Yeah. Yep. They're damage 1. They don't do shit. So,
yeah. I mean, they do something because they're anti-walker too. But
yeah.
So they get to hit wound redemptors on 2s, which is funny.
Yeah. Well,
but the problem is at that point, it was just mitigate, move block him, kill 1 squad. Next turn, he comes out, does a little damage to Chaff. I kill another squad and kill some other guys, and then he's just out of resources that can hurt me.
Well, good job there. All right, your second game was against Dakota Boyer. So that was the IG guy.
Yes, Dakota Boyer. Oh boy, the Dark Shroud was brutal.
Yeah.
Is what that game turned out to be.
Was it for the stealth or for the cover?
Stealth. And cover, honestly, both.
Okay.
Because it was just, okay, turn 1, he went first. Put his entire army into a Stormraven, including all of his hunter killers. And barely killed it. Just to the wound, I think.
A lot of times, even with the hunter killers, like I see they don't do what they need to do just because it's so kind of swingy almost.
Yep. And then at that point, it was just, okay, I now come out. I can't kill that much, but I can kill one of your tank commander, which has your demolisher cannon, because that hurts.
Yeah. And
then put some wounds on your vanquisher. The vanquisher though got just completely brutalized by Adept of the Omnissiah. That's where it's really good. It's just, you have a D6 plus 6 rail cannon. No, what if you just didn't?
Yeah, that's painful. Jeez. Well, good win there.
After that, just kind of pushing up, taking board control. I think turn 2, I was in his deployment zone and killed Leontis, and then it was just.
I mean,
he scored well.
Deceptively
but that's about
fast.
it.
So cool, man, sweet. And then we have against Carmine Batista, and that
was a hard game.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's kind of a mirror, right? You're playing up against another double Stormraven, but playing as Blood Angels and bringing no Redemptors.
Yeah, he's on the Death Company train.
Yeah,
and that's a very interesting matchup, because if he collides with me with his Death Company. Yes, they're mass damage too. They have enough dice they can actually just rip a Stormraven down. Yeah. Just on their own. And the Inferno pistols as well. If he gets to run up with a Stormraven, drop out his Death Company, and blast me, that almost kills it on its own because it's all D3 plus 2 damage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Which really hurts.
Because of the melter. And then, because everything flies, it can actually charge the Storm Raven, which most armies aren't going to be able to do.
Yep.
Well, no, I just hover every time, so everyone
I was
can
like,
turn the Storm Raven.
you never fly it. I was like, I've only seen you ever start on the board. Yeah.
No, you almost never do. There's like a very, very weird scenarios where you can hover one plane, but basically never.
Okay. Well, cool.
But that matchup, that was a really hard matchup and really, really well played by Carmine because he's also an extremely strong player.
Yeah.
And that one it came down. I was always favored because his Storm Ravens don't have the defenses that mine do. The lack of stealth and the lack of Adept of the Omnissiah really hurts him. So I was able to just come out. He went first, shot me, didn't kill a Storm Raven. Then I go, come out, shoot, kill both Storm Ravens.
And he really did not want to go first in that matchup. That's
not
that's an uphill
really,
battle already.
No.
Yeah.
Was he playing Sons of... Was he going...
He was on
Sons of
Ironstorm.
Ironstorm as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he could have done the same kind of thing.
He could have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He could have. He just chose a different build.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's also a nasty build. Death Company do not hit soft. I'll tell you that.
That is something you need to kill at range.
Yes. And
it's
the
still
thing
strange to me that they're like OC0, which is just fucking stupid.
They aren't, because he had chaplains with every squad.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you're just paying a tax to give them OC, but
yeah, but also the chaplain gives you +1 wound, which you just want anyways. So it's not a real tax.
Yeah. All right. So the next one we had was Matthew Tweedle, and he was playing Grey Knights with a bunch of baby carriers, so a bunch of Nemesis Dreadnoughts.
Yep. He actually started all of those in reserve, and I think that was exactly the correct play in retrospect.
I would 100% agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Because on this train, you can't really hide the baby carriers. He only started the Grandmaster on the board, and I was able to kill him eventually. But that game was kind of just me running around and killing stuff. He got some good charges. I got some good hit rolls. He managed to have a single Dread Knight pull down a Storm Raven on turn 4, which was impressive.
Yeah.
But then the problem is by the end of the game, on turn 2, because of the Storm Raven mobility again, I was able to just run one forward, stage it up turn 1, and then run it forward again, drop a Redemptor off in his deployment zone, wipe all of his Strike Marines out, and then that Redemptor just lived there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's where the Grey Knights, just because they have so much uppy downy and movement around and stuff, sometimes their deployment zone becomes your deployment zone, and yours then becomes theirs.
Yep, that absolutely happened. We traded objectives.
It happens a lot, actually.
And we both drew capture enemy outposts, so it worked out.
That's pretty good.
I found a lot of times in the Grey Knights, they play the mission really well because they have that objective play. They have all the actions they can do, but their output, their damage output is usually not enough. Right? So if they're jumping all around the board, but you have, Redemptors, Storm Ravens, all this heavy stuff in the middle, it's like, okay, keep jumping.
Yeah.
You're not going to kill me. I'm going to score. You're going to score. It's just, obviously, you scored a little bit better.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he actually did a lot of damage, much more than the usual Grey Knight players that I'm able to go against. But the problem was, by the end of the game, he had 2 Dread Knights alive. And literally at that point, you're able to hold 2 objectives, and I'm on all the others.
And I talked to him about that game, too, because I was like, man, the scores, he scored a lot, and so did you. And he was like, dude, I just didn't have anything left on the board. And that's
he literally had 2 models on the board, and that's just not enough.
No, it's not. All right, so your next one was against, I'm going to butcher this fucking last name. I'm sorry, Diego.
Diego
V. You got this? Diego V. Hey, I like it. Diego
V, love it.
And that's T-Sons. And I actually think that this could be possibly a weird matchup for you because of the amount of mortal wound output. So how'd this one go?
Less than you would think. So this feels like a matchup that would be really tricky for me. Yep. But in reality, it's not, because what happened is pretty simple. I think he played it pretty much perfectly, honestly. I went first. I went up stage, took some pot shots. He didn't expose any of his real units, except one Mutilith, which I was able to kill. And then he goes. He brings Armin out, strips the save from a Raven, and kills it. He was also able to uses his teleport unit to teleport over, move up, and Doombolt my Tech Marine, and try and kill him. He actually rolled a 1 on the Doombolt to kill my Tech Marine.
Damn,
and
hate to see it.
Failed. But then the Storm Raven exploded that he killed and killed both Tech Marines.
Oh, wow.
It's rough. It's rough.
So that ended up working out perfectly for him.
Okay.
But then I have the reprisal turn. I kill his teleport squad and I kill his Armin squad. Then he goes again. He comes out with his other 2 units of rubrics. And Magnus is just sitting back, shooting from long range, using the indirect and whatnot. And kills another Storm Raven on turn 2. And then on my turn, I have 3 Redemptors that are all staged pretty aggressively because the Storm Ravens were able to carry them upwards.
Yep.
But at this point, I've just been taking away his flank objective every turn, so he's not scoring it. And then on my flank objective, I have Azrael and company heroes. So the Redemptors come out, kill his other 2 units of rubrics. And now he has Zangors, Magnus, 1 unit of rubrics, and a Demon Prince against my 3 Redemptors and a Thunderstrike. Brings Magnus around, tries to kill 1 Redemptor, doesn't quite pull it off because he doesn't have Cabal points anymore. He doesn't have he can't Twist of Fate him, and he needs to double move Magnus to get the angle. Yeah. So he doesn't quite get the Redemptor down. Then on my turn, I just come out with the rest of my stuff. 3 Redemptors line up a bead on Magnus. I bring out the Thunderstrike. It shoots Magnus. And I kill Magnus. Another Redemptor gets a charge onto his home objective. It charges Zangors. Them and Scouts charge Zangors. I kill the Zangors with Scouts. Redemptor now has Pile In and Consolidate. Can pile in and then consolidate onto his home objective because you can tag it from the outside of the ruin.
Yep.
And now I have 3 Redemptors on. I am on every single objective marker. He has a Demon Prince.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Lot. Yeah, I mean, that army lost a lot of the durability that it had in 9th. It really did. I remember the first time in 10th when I played T-Suns, and I was like, okay, you're doing a little bit more damage than I remember. And then my fire back, I was like, oh, this army is not the same. I was like, they die so much quicker now. Holy shit.
Rubric Marines are not tough.
Yeah. They're just too many points, for what they do.
No, yeah. It was basically it turned into a good old-fashioned trading war.
Yeah.
But the problem is his damage decreases exponentially because of how Cabal works.
That makes sense, yeah.
And mine, because of how Mercy's weakness works, actually decreases non-linearly.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't decrease. Like, you're trading units, but your ability to have output just maintains where you're at with your trades.
Yeah, I lose a little bit of output every time I take a trade, but not a massive amount. Yeah. And he loses a massive amount of output. And so by the end, he just didn't have resources, and I did.
Yeah. Well, good job on that one. All right, and then your last was against, I think, Steven Salazar?
Yep.
Playing Custodes.
Yes.
So how'd you do against that? Here's another Boogeyman list that you got.
That one was streamed on War Games Live. That is a rough matchup for Custodes, frankly.
Yeah. Dude, you have so much damage.
Yeah. He is all infantry foot, and he has mass damage 2 melee. And then is mass 3 wounds bodies, and is relying entirely on winning by basically stat check. By durability stat check.
Yep.
And durability stat check just does not work against Storm Ravens, ever.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
The Custodes playstyle right now is kind of, can I roll more 4s than you can make me roll 4s?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I can make you roll a lot of 4s.
Yeah. Well, shit, that's a good win, man. I mean, good job. So that's your whole event, man. And
yeah, that's it.
A couple real tough opponents, man. Beating out Carmine, beating out Salazar, because he was undefeated at that point, and knocking out David round 1. He went into that event undefeated in Texas up to that point.
Yeah, David's been doing real well.
Yeah, so, dude, strong work, man. My only question for you on this whole thing was you didn't go up against Necrons.
I know, and I'm so sad.
Okay.
Necrons are my best matchup in the game.
Really?
Honestly.
Okay.
Yes.
And is that Hypercrypt Necrons with maybe
Hypercrypt
one
Necrons?
or two Satans?
Yeah, Hypercrypt Necrons. The more Satans they have, the worse it is for them. Frankly.
I've been noticing that the more Satans
how
they
that
bring,
works
the worse
out.
it is in most matchups. Actually.
Yep.
It's a stat check, but I think that
again, like I said, stat check
choose the magic-ish number.
Stat check trying to rely on durability stat check just doesn't work against Storm Ravens. That's not how you beat it. And so there's one or two Necron builds that I'm concerned about for Storm Ravens, but they're not the meta. And most of the normal Laura style Hypercrypt builds or Catan spam Hypercrypt builds just it's really hard to beat Storm Ravens. It's really, really hard to beat Storm Ravens.
So what would you say, if there is anything right now, what's the one thing that you don't want to match up into? What's your least effective matchup?
There's a few things. Something like Justin's army is actually really scary.
I was gonna
Justin Moore.
I was actually gonna ask. That was my next question. Is that if you didn't answer that, that was my next question because that list was tailored.
No, that list beats me. Just honestly, it does.
I love it. For people that don't know, his list was running 4 Hammerheads, 2 Riptides,
3
all
Riptides.
The shit that is needed. 3 Riptides, all the shit that's needed to just tear your army apart.
Yep, and then
and I
for
found that really funny.
the nasty part as well is that he has 4 Devilfish as well.
With
so
creatures.
What he can do is just run up with the Devilfish early and use them for board control. I have to go out and deal with them.
Yep.
My damage units are my real units, so I have to bring them out.
Yeah.
And then I kill them.
It's a bait and switch.
And now he has super long range firepower that actually just kills Storm Ravens.
Yep.
Okay, you can blank one of these. I got 3 more.
Yeah, I've got 3 more. We're not done yet.
What are they, D6 plus 6?
It's D6 plus 6 with
AP
devastating
5
possibly.
D6 plus 6.
Excuse me, D6 plus 5 against you.
Oh, it's D6 plus 5.
Yes.
No, it's D6 plus 6.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
got the -1
Yeah.
damage. And, yeah.
Bro, it's...
No.
When I saw that list, I was like, this is made for Kit.
Yep.
So that's
There's
funny,
a few
man.
other...
Okay,
There's
cool.
a few other builds that are scary, but basically the scariest thing in general is builds that have long-range shooting that can actually kill the Storm Ravens.
Yeah.
And then from across the board, and then also have a good amount of board control.
Nice.
Those
Well, hey,
lists
man.
are really annoying to beat.
Dude, strong work. You did really fucking well. And you
Thanks,
got a
man.
golden ticket, man. Congratulations on getting your golden ticket. You got that secured. You can now just hang out for the rest of the year.
How does your hey kid?
So
how
good
does
job.
how did your list change when the codex comes out for Dark
Oh,
Angels?
pretty simple. Basically, you have to remove Company Heroes and the Talon Master, and then you bring in a Tech Marine with Master of the Machine War, because that ability is just so absolutely critical into the top armies and top players.
Yep.
That's the fallback.
For those who
advance.
don't know, advance and fall back and shoot.
Yeah.
And that means it means that your threat ranges are massively extended, but also more importantly, honestly, it means that people can't just go, oh, hey, you have a lot of blast in your army, I'm just gonna tag you.
Yeah. It's an aura too, isn't it?
Yes, it's a 6-inch aura.
Yeah.
It's not as
Super
good on
good.
Tech Marine. Talon Master is better, but
Yeah.
Tech Marine's cheaper, so you just get to use the points elsewhere.
Hell yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, good job. All right, let's go into Corey's lists. So our next one that we're going to go over is going to be the player that placed number 11. Right?
11. So it's like
11?
first, but twice.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Still super good, right? A lot of these 5-1 players, there's small differentials between them and honestly the peoples that go undefeated. It could be anything from a single dice roll is what knocked you out. So there's still really strong players, always show really well. And you got best Votann. You knocked me out for that one, so fuck me.
Yep.
But yeah, So we have. It's called. Did your list have a funny name, Kit?
Oh, I had fun with the name. It was the unkindness of ravens.
That's funny.
Because the flock of ravens is called an unkindness.
Yeah.
And boy is the list unkind.
Dude, that's a good play on words, honestly. I didn't see it, and that's my bad. I normally love reading the list. But so Corey's was the Short King Summer. Leagues of Votann. Having an Iron Master with his whole squad, having a champion with grim demeanor, a call with a long list, one squad of warriors with all the normal attachments, 1, 2, 3 Sagittars, 2 of which have the high-las beam cannons. One is going to have that missile launcher on it, the L7 missile launcher. And then one squad of Thunderkin, that's going to be 6 with Grav. A 5-man of Berserkers, which is just like a mainstay. It's in all Votann lists now. I'm glad to see it's continuing because before LVO they weren't anywhere, and everybody was like, "Holy shit, Berserkers are really fucking good."
They're not bad.
What's that? No,
they're not bad.
For 100 points, they're super good. They trade up like almost every time. A unit of Hearthguard with Plasma. A unit of that's a big man. That's a 10-man squad. A unit of Hearthguard with Volkite. That's a 5-man. And then another 5-man with Volkite, 1 Hecaton, and 2 Pioneers with the normal loadouts.
Yeah,
Man, a lot of stuff in that list.
Yeah.
I love that Votann is back to being like almost a horde army.
It is, at least in my list, I feel like everything has a job, and everything does that job. I will say real quick before we go into that, good job, Colin. The event was great. No complaints. I had fun both days.
He stole my thunder. I was going to do it at the end.
Yeah, well, I'm doing it now.
Son of a bitch.
Clutch City 2024 was fantastic. 0 complaints.
It's a well-run event.
That was awesome.
Yeah, no, honestly, like, each year it keeps getting better and better, in my opinion. Fucking Corey fucked me on this one.
You can say it later, but I had to say it now, like, because I didn't go last year. I did go the year before when we had to move at the fire marshal's request to a smaller venue. It was very tight. It was very hot. Didn't have as good a time. I was playing Gene Stealers when Gene Stealers weren't good, and just whatever. Yeah. But this time everything went great. I had a good time. Good job, Colin.
Yeah, it's a hard event to beat, man. It's cheap. It's cheap food that's really good. The people that work there are fucking phenomenal. They have a 101-year-old burger maker. So every burger you order, you kind of feel bad because she's like slave labor back there, which is hilarious. But the food's good, the drinks are cheap, and it's a fantastic venue. Colin ran it phenomenally this year. Thank God we didn't have any. There weren't any big issues. I feel like the last couple of years he's had it, there's been a big issue between the fire marshal. The year prior was BCP, where he had to fucking re-enter everything.
Oh God! Everyone's score has had to be manually entered.
But somehow that only caused like a 30 or 40 minute interruption in play, which was insane. So good on him for that one. And I know he raised a fuck ton of money for charities. I actually was going to get with him on the number. I just forgot to do it this week.
I think it was like a $3,300.
That's good because that's what he wanted to get.
Over the last 3 years, he's up to, or total, he's raised over 10,000. I think is what he said.
Yep. Yeah, and I know that he wanted to break 8, so that's fucking awesome.
I think that was the numbers, but it was whatever it was. I remember it was a lot.
Cool. All right, now let's get back to Warhammer.
Warhammer.
Colin, good job. All right, so hey, your first. Looking at that list, man, what are some pros? What are some cons that you like about it? What's
okay? So
playing it out?
This list is also what I would call what I own. So there's that.
Okay.
I had a good time with it. It's a list I've been playing pretty much since I picked up Votann, which was recently. I wanted to start Votann at the end of 9th when they came out.
Yep.
And then they came out with the rules, and they were oppressive, and no one had fun, so I didn't do it. But I'm playing them now. They're fun. They're fun to paint. This is just the amount of models that I have. So the list has a little bit of everything, which I like. I really like the kind of mechanized infantry feel to an army. You can't take 3 to 4 rhinos because they're too expensive, but you can fit in 3 Sagittars, which is what I did.
Nice.
So as far as the list goes, it's got a big chunky land fortress, which is just fun to play.
Yeah.
It's big. It's it's got an imposing.
Is that ever on the chopping block for you? The
No.
land fortress? No, it's on every time it's on mine.
No, it's the land. When I make the list, I start with at least 10 total Hearthguard.
Mm-hmm.
I start with the Land Fortress, and I start with at least one Einherjar champion.
Damn.
Big ol' hammer. Can't really argue with it. That's dwarves. That's what they do. That's their style.
Yeah, I like it.
As far as the rest of the list, 2 units of bikes because they can play the objectives. They can do the thing. But I think any more than that, in my opinion, starts to clog up the board a little bit too much.
Okay.
And I've played around with that a little bit, and 2 seems to be my magic number.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, your first opponent, man, was Necrons. So you played, son of a bitch, I lost his name. Trip Johnson. Why does that name sound familiar? I feel like I've met this individual before. Hi, Trip. How'd that go, man? It was Canoptic Court.
It was Canoptic Court, so he was running 18 Wraiths with the attached characters. He had 1 Votann. It was the Void Dragon.
Okay.
That kind of list is actually, I feel like, a good target for Votann because you get 3 or 4 big chunky units, and I get to pick 4 at the start of the game that I get +1 to hit and wound against.
Yeah.
So surprise, there's all the Wraiths, and then 1 kind of easy unit of Immortals.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very good game. All my games were close. I think the biggest gap I had was 20 points.
Okay.
All my games were very close, all the way up till round 5.
Yeah.
This game was no exception. I think I decided I was going to kill all the Wraiths, and I did. The kind of maybe his downfall was just bringing on the Void Dragon from the sideboard. He came on, it killed the Land Fortress, and then that was it. Yeah. That was kind of, Votann tend to be the big hitters for a lot of Necron armies, and his, I don't know what it is, 250 points, 300 points, killed my 225 point Land Fortress, and then just kind of looked at each other.
Well, shit. Well, good job on that one. Your next one was going to be Tyler Rieger for Eldar, man. So you had another big hitter matchup, and this is it looks honestly like an older Eldar list, not going to lie. Looking at it, it looks like this is pre-nerf Eldar.
It was a little bit. Also a great game. He had a lot of small units. So he had a couple units of Shadow Specters. He had some Rangers. He had, what are they, swooping? No, not swooping hawks, the other ones. The infantry guys that jump around.
Warp Spiders?
He did have Warp Spiders, but the ones with the plumes. Anyway.
The plumes?
Striking Scorpions?
That's, maybe.
Jumping around in plumes.
They deep strike, and then they had a lot of small shots.
Warp Spiders.
No, not Warp Spiders.
That sounds like hawks.
That also, yeah.
Are swooping hawks on bikes or no?
No. Oh, it's the Wind Riders.
We'll get there at some point. Anyway, he had a lot of.
I'm looking at his fucking list.
He had a lot of small units, which is a much
Nothing
more difficult
you're saying
game.
makes sense.
It's the Eagle Rare. It's a much more difficult game for Votann to play because he didn't have any big. He didn't have 10 Wraithguard. He didn't have any real big hitter units that I wanted to put my judgment tokens on at the start of the game.
Yeah.
So I killed a lot of his units, but they were all so small that none of it really had a big impact on the game.
That makes sense. All right, real quick about this list though. There's no bikes.
There's no bikes.
There's some Guardians in a Falcon maybe.
No, it was Fire Dragons in the Falcon.
Okay, and then Rangers, Shadow Specters, support weapons, Swooping Hawks, Warp Spiders.
I thought Swooping Hawks were on bikes.
No.
I don't know.
Okay, Swooping Hawks. Yeah.
Yeah, when he was describing it, I was like, this is Hawks.
I had Eldar in 10th, so everyone forgive me. Anyway.
Well, good job.
It's a very good game. I had a really good time with it. He gave me one. So running the 10 Hearthguard with a character is a very big footprint. And he did give me, in one of turn 2, he gave me a 10 Hearthguard plus a character-sized spot in his backfield.
Ooh, that is
devastating. That's not good.
I
deep strike down.
That's bad.
Killed, I think, 3 units in shooting.
Yeah.
And then they have a rerollable charge that I got his support weapon, his guardians.
So half his armor.
Oh, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was rough. And,
damn.
So
that's how Eldar loses games.
Yeah. It was almost like putting a monolith in your backfield. But it felt bad.
Good job. And next one we have, you played Alexander Hilton, who was doing World Eaters. Who went first?
I don't remember at this point.
Okay.
I honestly don't remember.
Because if they went first, that's a fucking auto win almost for Votann. It's like sick. Come out.
So I'll do a quick shout out to Sam White, who historically is an Orcs player, but recently has been really, really hard into World Eaters. Yes. And when Sam wants to play, he wants to play a lot, and I've played a lot of practice games into World Eaters. give me all the scout moves now that Votann have. Really got to counteract all the scout moves that World Eaters get.
Yep.
This list was interesting, or kind of interesting, because it had Angron, 3 units of 8-bound, and a Khorne Lord of Skulls. And similar to the Necrons list.
I think you're going to see Lord of Skulls a lot now. I think it's actually a good fucking take.
I think they're actually good. Yeah.
Yep.
Just straight up.
It is, but again, going back to the Necrons game, when you give me 3 or 4 big units that I want to get rid of, Votann, get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I actually got rid of the Lord of Skulls turn 2.
Nice.
It's 450 points. It's a quarter of his army. That's just kind of starts to be the start of the downfall at that point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, good job on that one. And then we had TJ Bruce, Chaos Demons, who just stick in that Chaos realm. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about another Demons list in a little bit here, but TJ Bruce was running a very interesting Demon list with a fuck ton of Blood Crushers.
He's on the Khorne package, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He had
which is it can be very, very good, but it can run into some pitfalls if you don't do things like make charges.
So TJ was mostly like 90% Khorne. He had a couple Nurglings. He had a couple Screamers. But for the most part, it was all Khorne. So he's running 3x6 Blood Crushers and 3 of the Rendmaster on Blood Throne, something like that.
That's it.
Because it's the new thing where 3 Rendmasters can point at a unit, and now because of repeating buffs, all the Khorne units in melee get +3 attack or +3 strength, +3 AP, +3 damage, something like that.
It's super good.
Yep. You were talking about point at a unit and kill it earlier. Yeah. That is the epitome of that.
Very easily could.
You got to make the charge.
Yes.
Yes.
Very good game. It was very close. So TJ actually took fixed. He went for behind enemy lines and deploy because he's got all the Nurglings and demons can pick up and drop back down.
Yeah.
I think again coming to what his downfall was is Votann, at least my list, is good at killing. It's kind of what it does. It doesn't score great, but it stops you from scoring because you can't score if you're not on the board.
Also, I love when people take fixed against me, especially in my backfield. Playing Votann, those bikes are such a fucking huge footprint. Most deployment zones, you can zone out everything with just 2 bike squads.
Normally, yes. Demons can drop at 3, which that came in pretty big. So he did score a lot.
But only 1 unit, right?
1 per turn. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's still only like you're getting
it's
max
6 points a turn.
But then you're dropping points on the other end for behind enemy lines.
Yeah.
So
it turns out that Blood Crushers are 4 wounds, and the main gun for the Land Fortress is 4 damage.
Yep.
There was one turn it really popped off, and I wiped a whole squad with 1 round of shooting.
Nice.
And that's a big hit. When you have 3 things and one of them you just lose, it hurts.
Yeah. Well, cool. Good job on that one too, man. That's a good matchup. The next one was David Smith playing Custodes. You had some pretty big boogeyman lists. How'd this one against Custodes go?
Same thing. Like I got a lot of the same things in a row. Right. Custodes have his list I think was 3 Wardens, a Guard squad. He actually had 2 Armigers.
Okay.
2 Warglaves in his list. But again, you give me 3 or 4 big targets, and I get to start of the game say I'm going to hit these big targets. Especially into this list because the Wardens give -1 to wound when they're attached to a character, but the Hearthguard that I had with Grim Demeanor ignore that -1 to wound and gain +1 to wound by the Judgment tokens. So I was hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s. You know, it's a rough matchup for him.
I tried to do it in Custodes. I just couldn't roll enough fucking 2s.
Yeah, well,
it's crazy.
When you can't roll 2s and they can roll 4s, it's a rough game for you.
That's really good though, man. That's honestly like I think right now after playing against it, I think Votann has kind of a little bit of a weird matchup into Custodes. I think it can start to teeter their way really, really good. Mm-hmm. You obviously played it phenomenally in order to beat that out, so good job. And then your last matchup was against Diego V again. So we're just shitting on Diego V with the people that we have here on the stream today. I'm sorry, Diego. Well, you're getting talked about because you played it well.
Yeah.
So playing up against that, and that was your one loss, right?
That was my one loss.
So what lost it?
I'll talk about that game a little bit. It was a very good game. I had not played Thousand Suns in 10th.
Okay.
So I wasn't familiar with Cabals and how they work. So I have
the mortal wound output is fucking crazy.
Well, and so
that's going to be a painful game.
It really wasn't even the mortal wounds at this point because it was the Land Fortress is like a land raider, so it's 2 up save, no invuln.
Yep.
My big Hearthguard units, 2 up save, no invuln. My Thunderkin unit is a 3 up save, no invuln. So 3 turns in a row, he said, "Well, here's 9."
I see where this is going.
Turn off the saves for that.
Yeah.
Shoot it with some nonsense. Goodbye. Next turn, Land Fortress. Shoot it with some nonsense, but a 2-up save doesn't matter when you're not allowed to take a save.
Yep.
Just picked it up. Very, very close game. So the ending score was 75-72 in his favor.
Damn.
3 points. There were a couple... Right, the whole game, you play the whole game. There were a couple times I said, had I made this roll or had he failed this roll, easily 3 points. Could have been real
and
close.
that goes back to like what I was talking about with the 5-1s. Like it's such... Like the people that go 5-1 are just on that cusp. They're on the precipice of going and winning that event. It's just those small little things that separate that.
Yeah.
So,
but in that case, I didn't kill Magnus. I know you did, Kit, but Magnus was just the output that he puts out when he's like, "Oh, I'm this, shrink this, damage this, but also a +1 to hit and wound to myself."
Yep.
Yeah.
Is rough.
Yeah, it can be really
-1
bad.
damage helps.
Actually, Magnus, if like playing Votann into that list, Magnus is one of my top targets because he has the ability to look at a lot of our stuff and fucking be like, nope, goodbye.
You're just gone.
So
yeah, so he got me on that.
okay.
And that was not a player thing. He explained all the rules very well.
Yeah.
And but
No, it sounds like a super good game.
Once you're on the board and you explain the rules, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, I'm gonna pick up all 10 of your Hearthguard." Okay, sure. And then there they go.
He told him, and it happened.
He said, "I'm not worried about your Hearthguard. I'm not worried about your Land Fortress." And then I didn't have them. So.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, shit.
Again, like.
I mean, good run, man. Honestly, that's was that the highest that you've scored in an event or no?
It is the highest I've placed at an event. The
Well,
best
good
I've
job.
done
Fuck yeah.
before this was 4-2 with Deathwatch.
Okay.
Actually, at Rise, I did 4-2 with Deathwatch. I lost to Kit, and I lost to Robert Moreland, who I don't feel bad about losing to be totally honest.
Yeah.
They're both names that I recognize, which
No,
is
super good players. So.
So this time I had a great time. I got very lucky with all my games. They all were very good games.
Hell yeah. Well, good job, dude. I mean, good job to both you guys. Obviously, Kit, you get the more congratulations you got first. I mean, he played a really good game, though. But it's really good to, like, look at the event. And it's interesting that both of you guys played the same player and you're 10 places off, right? Because even at that, like, 150-man event, once you start hitting those top tables, especially in Texas, you're going to see the same people appearing over and over and over again.
Yep.
And that's just because our meta is so fucking deep with top players. It really is.
Oh, so at the end of day one, when I was 3-0, going into day two, I already said, well, this name, I don't want to play them because I don't like my chances.
Yeah.
Didn't end up playing any of those players, and I did okay with it.
I was really hoping we would get the mirror match going into day two. I was like, hopefully.
You don't really shout out Banff enough. I'll shout out Banff. We had several undefeated players on our team going into day two.
Yep.
And I don't think anyone played a mirror match. Surprisingly,
no, nobody played
a undefeated.
Even you guys. Actually, I gotta get, and I don't know if this is on purpose or if it was on accident, but I enjoy either way. Going into day two, none of the people that were on the same teams played against each other. At least at the top or at the higher tables, which is always really nice to see because I hate going to a fucking
driving 180
giant
miles.
event and then being like, well, I'm gonna play you, or like for you, like going into Justin, that would be like you'd be like, thanks, bro.
Oh yeah, we played this 3 times last week. Yeah.
Yeah, like in
that sounds
practice.
fun.
Yeah. Well, hey, good job to both of you guys, man. Once again, shout out to Colin. You held a fantastic event. Can't wait for next year, man. If I make it next year, I might be gone for that. But everybody else, go back to it. And then I'm just gonna give some shout outs to the other 2 players. So David Hall, playing Chaos Demons. Please go look at the episode that we have. I think it's episode 3, going over David Hall's list. He ran the exact same thing. We go a little bit more in depth, and it's better to hear him say it. So go check out episode 3 if you want to hear about David Hall's list.
He's also on War Games Live.
Yep, he went on War Games Live. I think he was on it twice.
I think he
might have been on the
Patreon
Patreon.
stream.
He was on the live stream at least once, and I think he was on the Patreon one. But go check it out at War Games Live. It's a phenomenal list. It's a giant Monster Mash list. It's really hard to get off the table. Scores a lot of points really well. So does good there. So good job, David. And then the other one is going to be Diego. And I actually want to just read this list out loud because Diego V, the guy that we've been talking about multiple times now, ended up placing 3rd, right? And that makes sense because he played the guy that got number 1 and he played a guy that got number 11. But he was running Aramon on a disc, an Infernal Master with the Arcana Vortex, an Infernal Master with the Crystal, which makes them jump around, Magnus the Red, a Demon Prince, a Sorcerer just by himself with the Lord of Forbidden Lore. 1, 2, 3 squads of Rubric Marines. They're all 5-mans, it looks like.
All flamers.
Yep, all flamers. I think that's the way to go, especially when you just take away the armor save. Like, you're auto-hitting, you don't need to worry about anything.
And they Rubrics reroll wounds if you're on an objective.
An objective, yep, which works really well. A squad of Zangors obviously there just to fucking hold your backfield.
Honestly,
1, 2 Mutalists. What's up?
Honestly, when I played him, the Zangors were not holding the backfield at all. They were pushing up. Because, I think Zangors, their thing is basically just fairly cheap OC2. Yep. That's their lot in life. And then because of Thousand Sons have all their movement tricks, with Temporal Surge in particular, you can just take them. Some matchups, you can literally just go first, advance them forward, double move again. You're move blocking your opponent's whole deployment.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or just run them up stage, double move, you flip a point. And if that's all they do, then that's good enough.
Their special ability,
especially flipping that point, like doing that to denying your opponent points is always good.
Their special ability is, I think it's on a 4+. You get an extra Cabal point if they're on an objective.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which is cool, but a lot of the times, at least when I was playing Diego, most of the time he would end with 3 or 4 Cabal points that you can't do anything with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going from 3 or 4 to 4 or 5 is not necessarily a big deal.
Huh.
It exists.
The Zangors, I like it because especially with the OC2, and I didn't even think about the whole movement thing. That's obviously a easy way to deny your opponent points, especially on primary. That can be huge. So the 2 Mutalists, a Zangor Enlightened. There's 2 of them. Those are going to be his little action monkeys that he jumps around and stuff like that.
They're small footprints.
So, his matchups that he played. Obviously, he played both of you guys, so I just think it's funny. He played Richard Eckerson with Grey Knights. I think he obviously just puts out enough mortal wounds there and is able to have some really good board control to knock all that out.
I'll also say,
yes,
that matchup is actually horrifying for Grey Knights because of one and only one ability, which is Thousand Sons have a 1 CP strat. When they're targeted with a psychic weapon, all psychic weapons until the end of the phase that target that unit are hazardous. And you get a 4-up Feel No Pain.
Yep. No, it's super good.
And Grey Knights are all psychic.
Yep. After that, he played Death Guard. I think he has the movement and the ability to just get through all of their toughness, obviously, with the mortal wound output, which makes a lot of sense to me. He played Ivan Hardy, which is a Hypercrypt. Honestly,
that's a weird matchup. 2
Satans, though. So not a lot of Satans. If it was more Satans, I'd be like, this makes sense. He mortal wounded the Satans to death. But with 2, he's still got enough points all over the board. But a lot of it looks kind of all over the place. And he has a Monolith as well. So
Monolith doesn't have an invuln for the most part.
Nope, it does well, actually it does in Hypercrypt.
It
can. 1 CP 4 pinball.
Yep.
Yeah. Which obviously you're just making your opponent use that when you take away their save.
Yep.
But good win there as well. And the next one he played was another Hypercrypt after that, which was Samuel Cook. And this one I know he ate all the Satans because he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Satans and a bunch of just little units running around. And I think with the mortal wound output that they can do with T-Suns, you're just taking 2 Satans off the board kind of. It just deleting them, which I think is really good. So, and then he obviously played you. And when I say you, he played Kit. We already talked about that one. And then he ended it with Corey. But Kit was his only loss. So good showing Diego and getting 3rd place, man. Great event. There was only one other event this weekend. It was a 5-man event. I actually forgot the name of what it was, too. Sorry to all those guys that were out there. The 5 of you. You can just hate me forever. I apologize. But once again, another fantastic weekend for Texas. We're kind of closing at an end. Cannot express how happy I am to be here and be able to play. There's so many good fucking players in Texas. We're going to keep looking at the meta each week. Next week is going to be a lot more RTTs again. There might be a mini GT as well somewhere in Texas. But once again, this is the 5th weekend in a row that across the state we've had more than 100 players because of the major, but each week we've been just crushing it on how many people actually play in this state. So good job for that, guys. A couple shout outs really quick before I give you guys your closers. Shout out to Colin once again, fantastic event. Gonna do Lone Star Hammered again, guys, or not Lone Star Hammered. War Dome Houston. Buy your tickets. Please use the promo code HAMMERED so that we can choose whatever school gets that. And I'm taking advice from you guys on that. Like, that'll go to a voting process on YouTube, and you guys will be able to choose what school we make that donation to. On top of that, right after that is Alamo. I know that they already have tickets available, so please go check out the Alamo. It's going to be downtown in San Antonio at the Hyatt this year. I know he has a player cap, and a lot of the years historically, David always exceeds his player cap and finds random tables, terrain, and mats and brings it all together. I don't know if he's going to do that for this one, so get your tickets while you can. Get them while they're hot. That's another golden ticket event. So these are 3 back-to-back golden ticket events that are going to have 2 golden tickets each. That's 6 golden tickets coming out of Texas, guys. Buy your tickets for both of those events. And then I'm going to give another big shout-out to Rexer's Lasers because they make all the fucking terrain for these events. So go to his website, buy all of his stuff, all the gaming aids, judgment tokens for Votann, counters or different things to like say, hey, I get rerolls, I get this or that for all the other armies and things like that you need to play. Rexer makes them. Go to his website, Rexer's Lasers, and get all that stuff so you can prepare yourself for playing in this competitive Texas meta. And with that, guys, Kit, close us out, man. You got any shout outs or anything you want to do, brother?
Honestly, most of the ones I was going to do, y'all did for me. Just
Okay.
one thing is shout out to my team for Tundra
Hell
Tactics. Great guys, and we are slowly building up the Texas contingent of the Tundra team.
Okay.
So it's a great team, and love the guys, and they were really helpful with getting me practice for this event. So I appreciate them.
Are you taking more applications for Tundra Tactics in Texas?
Honestly, you'd have to talk to my team captain about that, Eric
Okay.
Forsman.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if people want to, go talk to Eric Forsman, man.
Yeah.
You got any other closeouts, brother?
No, I think that's all we got. I was going to shout out Rexers because they're great guys, but hey,
yeah.
you did that for me.
Dude, he crushes it, man. I love his stuff. Well, cool, man. Hey, thanks for being on again, Kit. And then Corey, you got any closeouts?
I just want to say thanks for having me.
Oh, you're
It's a
welcome, man.
great time. Thanks for letting me drink a drink. And
Thanks for doing so well. Like, honestly, you
Well,
did
you
you
know.
did fantastic. You'll
I
if you do good again, you'll be back on.
Yeah. I will put one shout out as no one played Death Watch in Texas. That's for me only.
Oh, rats.
But you can do whatever.
So you
else
still
want.
get first place.
Yeah, I gotta get first place somewhere.
Hell yeah. Cool. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for being on. And everybody else,